Welcome back, guys. It's Byron Phillips from byronphillipsmedia.com, and tonight we are literally practicing again with some more lighting. So in the last video I did a number of different scenes using the same composition, but they were using the CTO and adjusting the white balance in different ways, and one of those was a teal and orange look. Now, I didn't push that as far as I thought that I could, so I wanted to try that again. The other reason why I wanted to try this is I've just purchased a Fresnel attachment which goes onto the front of my light, and I wanted to see exactly how well that would fare because I wanted it to provide a little bit more power output, which it does. But one of the things that I'm noticing is that the clarity is not as good with the shadows. So it's not as sharp, but it does give me more output. I think it's about a stop on the maximum power, and if I put that to the tightest focus. Now I still get some of the light rays that you're seeing now. So what I wanted to achieve tonight was to really push that image. So I wanted it to be really contrasty. Now, the way that I've gone about doing this is, first I've set the camera white balance to 2500. That means anything that is a daylight color will be rendered as blue. Now you will see this. Now this is just a aperture light, and the light streaks, I've not got the fishing line. If you notice, it's going down. I'm gutted, but I'm not going to faff with it because I can't be asked. Now what that means is that this light here is rated at 5500, and that is being rendered as blue, so that's providing the nice teal look. The way that I'm getting the contrast in color with the orange is I've got a full CTO, and on top of that I've got a half CTO, so it's 1.5 CTOs on top of that to really push that image, because what I wanted to do was see how far I could push it before getting it into post, because the camera that I've got at the moment is the G7, and that is an 8-bit, and one of the things that you can't do is push and pull this too far in post. So I'm striving to get everything right in camera before I get it into post. So lighting is a massive part of this. Now the actual exposure for this, now I've got the lens at 2.8. Now it will go down to 2.2, but I like it at 2.8. I find that's where it's sharpest for the Samyang Cine lens. So that's what that is set at. Now the light that is falling off of my face from here is actually, I think, is just under a stop, was a half a stop under. So I'm just under the exposure, which is fine. So I know that it's supposed to be at 2.8, but right now I think it's at a 2 or just a 1.8. That's the amount of light that is falling. And I always use a light meter, which is the Sekonic L358. Now this was given to me by my dad. My dad was a photographer, but unfortunately because of him being a diabetic, he is losing his eyesight slowly and he's no longer doing the photography. So I'm in the position where I'm kaifing most of his stuff, so sorry. Now the way that we've got this set up is in a similar fashion to the way we had it done in the last video. So I've got the key light which is positioned over here, and that is bouncing off the mirror which is angled at this wall. That's why we get in these nice clean lines. Now I am having to use the barn doors because even with the Fresnel attachment there is a little bit of light spill, and it was casting a lot of orange on this wall. So it's still doing it, but I think that's a large part of that is because the curtains are red and there's a bit of light play going on there. So that is very, very orange coming through here. Now I've pumped the room full of fog again because I wanted to see how much light rays I could get at this angle, and we are getting some, and it's adding to the image, and it's not completely mental, and once I get this in post I'll be able to really see. But so far I'm really happy. So the key things to take away is that if you really want to push this image, you need to first set your white balance. Now you can either set it to match the CTO, which is at 3200, but I've pushed this even further so that the blues, as you can see, are really blue. Now what I've done is all this area coming across my face is the actual CTO and the orange, and then on the opposite side I wanted the contrasting color of the teal. So here, which is we're faking, basically just faking me watching a pad, and in here and behind here are two daylight lights. And then that's in here as well, so there's two of those. Ooh, that didn't sound good. So that's what's creating the effect. Now what you will find, or what I'm finding, is that when you pump in a lot of fog, you do lose a lot of definition in the lighting that you get. Now because of this vase, it does cast nice pretty patterns on the wall, but because we've got the fog in the room itself, it's actually softening that image. Now that's fantastic if you want to soften a window, but if you're trying to remain or keep some detail, perhaps a hazer might be much better, or might be finer, and you might be able to see more of that detail if that's what you're going for. So there's drawbacks with everything. The fog machine itself is nice and cheap, and in order to really thin this out, I've got to pump the room full of fog, and then I just use a normal desk fan to actually thin this out, and I make sure that there's a window open so that there's enough ventilation kicking out. So yeah, so right now it's just going to be a quick video. It actually took a lot longer to set up than it is shooting, and that's the frustrating part that I'm finding, is setting up is an absolute, not so much a nightmare because I really enjoy it and learning how to control light, but at the same time it does take a long time, so bear in mind that when you're going for this look. So yeah, so I hope that was beneficial and you liked it, and it's something to think about. I'm not gonna, well, I think I'm gonna show how I set the room up, but to be honest with you, the room's a bit of a mess, and if my partner found out exactly how much of a mess I make when I do these things, she'd kick my ass. So on that note, rather than provide any more evidence of the mess I've made, we'll call it a night. So thank you, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, you can like and subscribe because I'm slowly getting there. The channel's slowly getting there. I think I'm at 71. So thank you for everybody who has subscribed so far, and hopefully we'll get to 100 soon. And yeah, but thank you. Cheers. Bye. Go on. No, really, I need a drink. You should really go. Fine. Fine. I'll go. Bye. Bye.